What's going on, y'all? This is Chris with NoLimitSquad, your personal Isochain and fitness vlogging channel. Today, we're gonna cover 3 Isochain exercises to get big guns. Let's work on them arms, all right? So it's 3 exercises. Simple. Ready? Bicep curl, reverse curl, and the seated row. So we're gonna jump into all 3 of these exercises, specifically how to do them, how many reps, how many sets, joint angle, all that stuff. We're gonna dive right into it. Ready? Here we go. All right, so the bicep curl. What I like to do when I'm doing the bicep curl is I like to set it up at mid position. So all my exercises as of right now, I'm doing mid position. I have not messed with any joint angle yet. My numbers are gonna be kind of weak because I already did Isochain probably about 20 minutes ago, my whole program. So I only promise to try. Pull a standard strength 6-second contraction. 3, 1, 2. Whew. Yeah, so I pulled 164 when I was doing the actual thing. I'm fatigued right now, so not bad. 158. What our book teaches with Paul Wade's Isometric Manual is to maximize some of these lifts is to get a 6x6 program on it. So what that means is I just did 1 set of 6-second contraction. So that means I'd need to do this 5 more times today to get the ultimate out of this bicep curl on the Isochain. So what I'd recommend is to get the ultimate out of it, switch up the joint angle. You want to get the most out of this, you switch it up. So you lower the chain length for the first 2 sets. For the sets 3 and 4, we put it in mid position like you just saw. And sets 5 and 6, you put it at top position. So I'm gonna show you exactly what each one looks like. All right, so this is bicep curl from low position. So I've actually never done this before, so I'm gonna do it right now. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 6 seconds. Woo! Yeah, so the number is obviously lower. So 148, so that's lower. So right now I have done 2 out of the 6 required to get the ultimate out of this bicep curl. Now I'm gonna put it on the highest chain link. How do you know what chain link it is? That's something that you have to experiment for yourself because every body is different. I'm 5'9", so I know that my chain link for mid position bicep curl is 25. I just know that. So I wrote it down day 1. So this is bicep curl high position. See the difference now? Woo! And that was a little higher, 151. So it's also lower, the number is low because again, I'm fatigued. I would have loved to know what the numbers were if I was fresh. So did you see that then? So low position, mid position, high position. I just did 3. We need to do 6 of each exercise to get the maximum out of it. According to Paul Wade's Isometric Manual, I'll put a link in the description box below so you can check that out. I highly recommend purchasing that book. Again, I'm getting paid $0 for that. It's just so much knowledge and information. So the more you know, the farther you go, right? Doing this properly, 2 sets at low position like I showed you, 2 sets at mid, 2 sets at top. The rest times, 20 seconds. Now, if we're going for hypertrophy, remember, hypertrophy lifts on the Isochain are 20 to 45 second contractions. What I'd recommend doing is instead of messing around with the load and max modes that we usually use for strength exercises on here, like I just showed you, you switch it up and go to average mode or time mode. You can do time mode or average mode, but I would recommend average mode. Get your own timer set up and you set it for 20 to 45 seconds, whatever you want to do. I'd recommend starting with 20 seconds if you're new to hypertrophy on the Isochain, just to get, I mean, that sucker burns, guys. It burns, all right? No joke, it does. And then 20 seconds, low, rest, a minute. 20 seconds low, rest, a minute. 20 seconds mid, rest a minute. 20 seconds mid, rest a minute. 20 seconds high, rest a minute. 20 seconds high, rest a minute. Done with the bicep curl for the day, done. That's what I recommend. You really want to blow your arms up, but I recommend also measuring your bicep from the top part of the tricep head here into the peak of the bicep. That's what I recommend doing. So that protocol, we want to do that for each exercise because the next exercise is the reverse curl. The reverse curl works the forearm extensors, a little bit of the wrist action there. It's often overlooked, but the forearms contribute to a lot of bicep power, a lot of bicep strength. So if you have stronger forearms and you're going for the bicep curl, you're able to lift more. You have another muscle group helping you out on that contraction. Does that make sense? So we never want to forget the forearm. That's why, like, my bicep curl normally is about 165 to 170. I've touched 180 a couple times, but it's 165 to 170. It wouldn't be that high if I didn't do my forearms. It just wouldn't. Because I do them dynamically in the gym and I do them statically here. I'm gonna start at top position, then I'm gonna show you guys mid position, and then I'm gonna show you guys bottom position. Now, the forearms are interesting because if you do it wrong, it ends up being an upright row. All right, so you wanna make sure that your positioning and your form is correct. Also, expect these numbers to be pretty low. So this is your top position, reverse curl. Ready? Oh. Did you see my wrist start to come up? I have weak wrists. Working on it. So I pulled a 59 and reverse curl top position. So I do that one more time, and then I go to mid position like I'm about to do right now. Strength. For strength gains in the forearm, for all of these, you rest for 20 seconds. Right here, this is mid position. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that was higher, 73. You feel that sucker. You feel your wrist giving out, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just weird, but you feel it directly in your forearm. That was mid. Now it's time to get low. So this is low. Whoo! Interesting. That was a higher number, 85. Actually felt that more in the forearms. That's interesting. I have not done reverse curl from low position before. Again, same thing. You want to get your forearms bigger. 20 to 45 seconds for hypertrophy lifts with a 60-second rest time. If you want just raw strength gains, 6-second contraction, 20-second rest time. Y'all feel me? 2 sets of 6-second contractions at the bottom position, 2 sets of 6-second contractions at the mid position, and 2 sets of 6-second contractions at the top position. Remember, forearms are really important. A lot of people just skip out on that, but then your lat pull down suffers, your row suffers, your pull-up suffer, your bicep curl suffer. Your forearms are really important. Your deadlift suffers. Your forearms are really important. Those extra, like, oh, I'm not really gonna mess with those muscle groups. Yo, go ahead and do that if you want to, and that might be the difference between hitting your next PR and being stuck for 4 months. Seriously. The last one is the row. And if you guys haven't seen my video on quick hacks on the Isochain, here's a link to it right here. I have one on the row specifically on how to get the best out of it, and it's pretty much just putting up against the wall. But if you want it more detailed, go ahead and check out the video. All right, so there's your start position. So this is row. So notice I'm leaned in a little forward. My normal chain link for mid position is 5. Right now, I'm on chain link 2. So notice I'm hunched over a little bit like this. Ready? On 3, 1, 2. Yeah, so 307 for that. So now I'm gonna go from chain link 2 to chain link 5, which 5 is my mid position. 1. All right, now it's higher. I'm still really fatigued, so these numbers are trash, but the shortened position, chain link 2, was about 20 pounds less force. So now we're gonna go to the top position, which is, for me, chain link 7. Notice I'm a little lean back here, but I'm not pulling like this, I'm pulling like this, so that it's still my lats that are engaged. 3, 2, 1. Alright, and that was about 15 pounds even higher. 2 sets in the shortened position, 2 sets mid position, 2 sets top position. 20 to 45 seconds for hypertrophy. Again, I recommend starting with 20 and working your way up to 45. Setting a weight on average mode so that you're maintaining that amount of force. It needs to be beeping the entire time when you're doing hypertrophy lifts. If you haven't seen that video on isometric and isochain hypertrophy, here's a link right here. You want to check that out so that you're doing these hypertrophy lifts correctly. I'm not explaining everything in this video, it's right there for you. And for strength, remember 6 seconds, 20-second rest time. So you don't need a lot of rest time. How frequently should we do these? That is a tricky question. It really depends on, are you working anything else out? Because a 6x6 with these exercises probably gonna take like 15 minutes. Probably about 8 minutes doing strength for all of them. Figuring in the chain link adjustment time, probably about 8, maybe 10. If you can do this daily, I would. The isometric manual says that doing these will net you 5% superhuman strength gains by doing these daily. My recommendation is to do it daily. At worst, take 1 day off. These are not time intensive. These are quick, fast, and you're done. If you are like me, doing these isochain exercises around your weightlifting schedule, never do these right before your session. Don't do that. You're gonna take away from your dynamic power, and your lifts in the weight room are going to be less. You wanna make sure that you have at least an hour of rest time after you finish the isochain session before you go into the weight room. Those 3 exercises, make sure that you're tracking your numbers so that you know you're progressing. Use load mode and max mode for your strength gains. Use average mode and time mode for your hypertrophy gains. If you're not familiar with those modes, here's a link here so you can check out what those modes are and what they do. And if you appreciated the content, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like. Go ahead and comment if there's something that you're unsure of. If you're not yet part of No Limit Squad, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come join the squad with us. See you in the next one. Peace.